Once again, Sam, I'm sorry we couldn't bring you straight here on the DHV Magellan. That was one hell of a trip, and you must be absolutely knackered. Be sure to take as long as you need to rest before tackling more work, all right? For my part, I'll have a crack at assessing several potential routes for your next main order. We can discuss them when we take a look at the map later on. As for the cargo, I'll let Charlie tell you all about it.
Sam, this is Charlie. Network infrastructure between the Southern Environmental Observatory and Terminal Fort Knott has been disabled for reasons unknown, though we strongly suspect Ghostmech's sabotage is to blame. To address this, we've decided to reroute network traffic through the F7 North Distribution Center. However, the distance is too great for us to establish a direct connection at this time. That being the case, we'll need to utilize the way stations situated between the two sites. The device required to activate them is stored at this facility. Collect it before embarking on your journey to the distribution center. You know what to do, Sam. We'll rendezvous on site later.
Excuse me. Nice to meet you. Oh, wait. We've met before. At this very facility, in fact. You might remember? My hand, at least. How's our mutual friend doing? Hartman and I have been working together to study water samples collected on the beach. My research prevents me from leaving this place. So I'm going to have to rely on you, Sam. Allow me to review your order information. Well, look at what you brought me. I didn't think I'd ever... I've made great strides in my work thanks to you, and want to give you this data as thanks. I am increasing the amount of materials you can use.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
The schematic I've showed is for a refined extra battery. It boasts increased capacity, despite not being any bigger than the old version. It's one of the research projects I decided to take over from our mutual friend in preparation for your arrival. I think there's still plenty of room for improvement, though. You know, Sam, we've actually got something in common. Dooms. I can hear the waves of the beach, and sense the flow of tar in the Earth's crust. This is what led me to suspect that water might be circulating between the beach and our world. As I immersed myself in my research, I also discovered that my body had begun to undergo certain changes. I had developed a condition that affected me every 21 minutes. I know, just like a certain someone. Our symptoms are a little different, though. First of all, only Doom's sufferers seem to develop them. In my particular case, I vomit every 21 minutes due to a form of gastric reflex spasm syndrome. The muscles of my stomach cease to function properly for a time, and everything in my system comes back up. I'd rather others didn't see this, so I keep to myself in the back room. That's where I was when you first came to this laboratory. I'm sorry I wasn't able to greet you properly then. I hope I can call on you again. Please, tell our friend I say hello.
Order completed. Well done.
Was that tasty, Sam? Why don't you try freshening up with a shower? Apropos of nothing, that place we were sent to, the Land of the Dead, it strikes me as odd that it was submerged underwater. And did you see those columns of ice, the ones descending from the surface all the way to the floor? Afterwards, I realized what they reminded me of. The columns were reminiscent of a phenomenon known as brinicles. When seawater freezes and turns to ice, salt concentrates are released into the surrounding water. This brine is heavier than the water around it due to its higher density. It therefore sinks deeper into the ocean. As it flows towards the ocean floor, its lower temperature results in the formation of ice. And as this process continues, it can produce column-like ice structures. Any living creatures unfortunate enough to become entangled in these can be frozen solid. Little wonder they're called icicles of death.
Listen up, Sam. The F7 North Distribution Center is a long ways away. And by my reckoning, there's a number of different viable routes. The shortest, most direct path would involve you cutting through the snowy mountains. A dangerous proposition to say the least. You might find zip lines, ladders, and other structures en route to make your life a little easier. But without those conveniences, you'll need to make that deadly trek the hard way. If you're still keen, make sure you pack all the mountain climbing essentials and then some. Alternatively, you could forego the mountain route and circle round to take advantage of the roads to the east. Though if they're still in disrepair, or there aren't any bridges or other structures available, you'll need to come prepared to put in some work. Finally, heading west around the mountains would mean retracing your steps and going back the way you came. A fair few porters have already made use of that route since you paved the way. I imagine you'll find it easier going than the first time through. That route will also bring you close to the monorail. Get it up and running, and you can catch a ride too. Ultimately though, the route you take and the methods you utilize are entirely up to you. So take a moment to weigh your options and prepare as you deem fit.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Give my regards to our friend.
saying you're Sam, right? You've come a very long way just to make this delivery. I should only need a moment to inspect the cargo. The cargo's in pretty good condition. I don't see anything that concerns me. I've been looking... Okay. Use your Cupid to put us online. Now displaying your current porter grade.
Well, looks like we're finally on the chiral network. I really respect what you drawbridge folks have been doing. Being a part of it all is such a great honor. The situation here was pretty dire, but deep down, I just knew that with your help, we'd get through it. It broke my heart when the Earth opened up and swallowed Cardinal Fort Knott. Ever since that day, the tar currents and chiral fields have only grown more unstable. I doubt these anomalies will get any better until you finish linking up the continent. But only a bit further to go, right? I'm sure we can finish strong. I just hope all the ghost mechs sighted in this region lately won't slow you down. They're with Higgs, right? He has everyone worried. So, to better prepare you for whatever he has planned, I've shared data for a quadruple rocket launcher. Don't hesitate to use it to keep yourself safe. Yeah. The ground beneath it became incredibly unstable. Possibly due to the craziness with the tar currents. With the city gone, an alternate route for chiral network expansion had to be devised. The plan was to extend the network from the Southern Environmental Observatory to Terminal Fort Knott, though that's no longer an option either. But I'm confident that the network stabilizer you brought is just the thing we need to deal with this latest complication. We'll do what we can to provide support. Looking forward to working with you. Well, as the name suggests, it launches powerful rockets. We developed it here using old data we dug up. The rockets fly in a straight line and are capable of inflicting far more damage than most conventional munitions. They're not only highly effective against ghost mechs, but BTs as well. I've heard that Higgs has already made his way as far as the Southern Environmental Observatory, so you'll need powerful armaments to deal with him. That said, this launcher is absolutely devastating. A little too devastating, perhaps. Under no circumstances must you use it on another human being. Once upon a time, I had aspirations of joining Fragile Express. Wanted to work alongside the living legend herself. Help her to reconnect the world, one delivery at a time. But circumstances often dictate the course of our lives, you know? So I ended up joining an APAC distribution team instead. Regardless of who I work for, I'd like to try and support Fragile's mission. Do what I can to unite the people in the same way she has. Thank you again for stopping by. So you know, we intend to continue research and development of powerful technologies. We'll give it everything we've got, but with our limited number of staff, it might take a while. And we'd appreciate any help you can provide as well. I wish you and all the drawbridge folks the very best of luck.
Sam, the tar current's behaving strangely again. We're unable to rendezvous with you just yet. The conditions are similar to when we observed that tarfall phenomenon before. I strongly urge you to proceed with caution.
This is Neil's doing, Sam. I'm sure we'll find him waiting for you beyond the tarfall. You need to confront him one last time. There's still so much we don't know about what happened 11 years ago. The nature of his relationship with Lucy, the baby that she was carrying at the time, and Lou, who was apparently born back then too. We need to see how all these pieces fit together if we're ever going to find the whole truth. So meet with Neil Vanna and settle things once and for all.